Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to this video of... It's Christmas already. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep. Christmas is a lovely time. It's all about family. You all get together, slap on a feel-good Christmas movie. So you go onto Amazon Prime and just type in Christmas. And there's all the classics. You've got Mean Green Man, Terrible Parents, The Santa's Curse, the one where an elf defects from Santa to work for an evil toy maker and creates lollipops that make people fly. But they're also highly explosive, so he kidnaps a homeless kid, and the only way to save Christmas is by doing a loop-de-loop with the sleigh. That's a good one. But the thing about Amazon Prime is that they let pretty much anyone upload their own movies. So if you scroll down far enough, all the way past Curious George, A Very Monkey Christmas, and Mr. Bean's Holiday, which is in no way a Christmas movie, you start to find the true meaning of Christmas. And because I hate myself, I've watched quite a few of them. And today we're going to look at a few of them together. Okay, I know the title sounds bad, and that's entirely why I watched it. A bunch of kids get stranded in an airport on Christmas Eve with no parents to look after them, making them unaccompanied minors. This film came out in 2006, made by Warner Bros. And directed by Paul Feig, who has also directed a lot of other very well-known and very well-liked movies and shows, like Freaks and Geeks, Knocked Up, Spy, The Heat, Bridesmaids, and that one abomination that we don't talk about. It also has some very surprising actors in it. Wilmer Valderrama, that one dude from That 70s Show, a girl who I always have to double take for because she looks so similar to young Mila Kunis, the Bad Santa Kid, Kristen Wiig for a tiny bit, Rob Riggle, Rob Corddry, Lewis Black, Tyler James Williams, who actually recorded a song for this film, David Koechner, I'm realizing I don't know how to pronounce like any of these names, BJ Kovac, Mindy Kaling, it's a real office fest to be honest, and Mario Lopez apparently, but I don't remember seeing him at all. I honestly don't know how I didn't notice the sexy Colonel Sanders man. The movie centers on these kids that are stuck here and just want to have a real Christmas. But the manager of the airport hates Christmas because of his abandonment issues because all the customers leave. Why run an airport if it makes you sad whenever people go very far away? That's literally the entire purpose of an airport. But these kids aren't the only unaccompanied minors here. No. There's an entire room of feral children full of them. Why have so many families waited until Christmas Eve, probably one of the most hectic and busiest times at any airport, to send their children across the country by themselves? Surely that's 10 times more expensive and stressful for everybody involved. And there's multiple times where these kids just would have died. One of them gets stuck in a suitcase and hit with what is probably the equivalent of a car going full speed down a ramp. We also have this beautiful chase sequence. And we never see that man again, so I can only assume that he is also dead. Another interesting thing about this movie is that it pulls a reversal on us. You know how in movies there's usually that nerdy character who everybody thinks is really ugly until she takes off her glasses and lets her hair down? Well, in this movie, the popular rich girl, who we know is rich because she's incredibly materialistic and hangs out with sexy Santa.
I was right! You're hot! You guys owe me a soy half cap with the mocha shot!
But she carries around a picture of herself in her wallet wearing dirty nerd glasses, and she eventually puts them on and everybody's just like, oh, you're still so beautiful. Which, by movie rules, makes no sense. Everything that I have learned from movies has taught me that no girl can possibly be attractive if they're wearing glasses. The main character should have immediately been put off as soon as he found this out. But the bad guy of the movie eventually just talks to the main kid and says this.
Who trained you kids? The Navy SEALs?
Look, sir, just divorced kids are more resourceful than others, that's all.
So if your parents are divorced, you should have the physical and mental abilities of a Navy SEAL, because parents divorce equals superpowers. And they have a real thing for divorced parents in this movie. One of the kids did his own research and found out that the two most common reasons for children flying alone over the holidays are divorced parents and being Jewish.
What about you two? Divorce or Judaism?
And then there's this.
Are your folks still together?
Yeah.
Then I hate you.
I just think that the writer has some unresolved issues. There's also a pointless storyline about their dad driving to come pick them up, but he's made his own biofuel, so his car can run off purely clean energy, which is amazing. Like, that could revolutionize the world. But he ends up having to pay for real fuel and his car explodes. So the really nice employee there offers his big car so they can go and get his kids, which is honestly an incredibly generous offer, but he throws a fit because it's a petrol car, but he takes it anyway and gets to his kids in time for Christmas. So like, his entire storyline is basically just, fossil fuels are amazing! They saved Christmas! Honestly though, this one wasn't that bad. It can be pretty fun to watch, but I doubt I will ever return to it for the rest of my life. So when you hear the title, Home and Alone for Christmas, with the tagline, when all elf breaks loose, which makes absolutely zero sense, Left by Him Elf would have been way better. It's still terrible, but it kind of makes sense. But when you hear the title, you obviously think of Home Alone. So you imagine this film is just going to be a straight rip-off of that. A kid gets left home alone by himself over Christmas and has to defend his house against robbers. Classic. But that isn't what this film is at all. In this film, the main character, the dad, is so pathetic and hated by literally everyone in his family that he is convinced by a videotape to do the 3-day challenge, which is 3 days and 3 nights where you turn off every utility, so no electricity, water, gas, heat, Wi-Fi, no phones, nobody is allowed in or out of the house until the time is done. And the tape also says this:
You're going to want to spring this on your family without warning and at the most inappropriate time.
Hey, you okay? I just can't believe he's gone. I know, but your dad loved you so much. Give me your phone. What? I said give me your phone. Why? This is a test. If you can't survive here, then you don't deserve to live. Why are you doing this? Hey guys. Dad, you're alive! Yes. A witch brought me back and said the only thing I had to do to stay on this mortal plane is to give you a hug. Wait, no one goes in or out of this house. No! Wow. I guess this is where all elf breaks loose. Yeah, I don't care anymore. Yeah, that's understandable. He turns off everything, spray paints all the windows black, and understandably, everybody thinks he's taken his family hostage. So the military arrives, and it's all resolved instantly. So what was the point?
Is your husband holding you or any member of your family against your will inside that house?
Well, if you... Jackie! I'm kidding.
They need to build a fire, so he turns to burning the furniture, like immediately, instead of, I don't know, the huge undecorated Christmas tree that is literally made of firewood. His insane brother breaks in to steal stuff and make it more of a real-life apocalypse scenario. So he breaks in to steal the food and kidnap the women and children.
Come and they'll take your food, then they'll take your women and children to start a new world.
You touch me or my children, I'll call the cops.
When that day comes, there won't be any police or any phones to call them on, Jackie.
He's a genuine psychopath, especially since on the second night their dog gives birth to puppies and nobody really noticed that the dog was pregnant or anything, which is very surprising because if I was locked in my house with no phone or anything, I will literally never leave my dog. But the dog makes puppies that we're never able to see, and the very next day, he gives them away. Well, they're actually stolen by the brother.
Thanks for the puppies, they'll make great watchdogs.
He stole our dog.
They can steal your food, they can take your wife and your children, but if they take your dog and newborn puppies, that is surely enough to send you into a violent, murderous rage. So at this point you're probably thinking, hey, this isn't a Home Alone ripoff. Where are all the traps? Well, you've fallen into my trap. Because now on the final day, they decide to set a bunch of traps to unleash on the brother that night. And the fact that it's called Home and Alone is actually quite the metaphor. Because even though they are all home, the dad feels so very alone because nobody is talking to him, because they're all on their phones. Or it could be interpreted as them being alone because now they have no access to the outside world. But the traps that they set are just terrible. One of them is just loud noises and flashing lights. Even though the entire point of this test is to survive without electricity, and they clearly have those high-powered lights and speakers plugged in. Another one of the traps is just hitting him in the face. And after all that, it's finally Christmas. And a few days ago, his wife was talking about how she needs to leave the house to buy all the Christmas gifts. Who goes Christmas shopping 2 days before Christmas? Why are all of these families that love Christmas so bad at preparing for Christmas? But that's the film. I didn't even mention the living doll because it's so pointless. They also show a bazooka in the first 5 minutes and it's never brought up again. Chekhov's bazooka makes me sad. Next up, I watched Elfman, and by watched, I mean I had it on in the background whilst I was tidying up. But this film came out this year and stars the one and only Wee Man as Elfman. Yes, the guy from Jackass is now the hero elf in low-budget Christmas movies. And I have to say, I can see why his acting career isn't taking off.
I've done all I can do. I'm done!
But in this film, the dad has created a chip that is the key to infinite renewable clean energy.
My man!
You're not gonna believe this!
The TX-180 scores off the charts. I am holding the future of renewable energy in my hand.
I knew you'd crack it. Did I ever lose faith?
This guy has solved the world's energy crisis in his attic on Christmas Eve. And following the theme of every family being incredibly unprepared for Christmas, they're decorating the tree and everything, and the dad has to go out and pick up the Christmas ham. Seriously though, all of the families in these movies love Christmas more than anything else in the world, but they are never ready for it at all. But this is also a universe where fruitcakes can come alive and be evil.
Goody, goody, goody!
Grandma's famous fruitcake.
So they clearly already have too much on their plate. Comedy. But he invites the butcher lady over for Christmas because his wife and mother of his children is dead, which is sad. And on his way home, he gets kidnapped by people who want to steal the energy chip. So when he doesn't return from the butcher's, his daughter makes a wish upon this elf doll. And then their hero, Wee Man, finally appears, who at first is completely useless. Well, to be fair, he does have a concussion. But he finds the dad tied up in an old barn, and then he just leaves him there? Yeah, for a Christmas elf, he's a bit of a dick.
You just left him there?
Deal was, find him. I found him. Wish granted.
The dad had to actually free himself. He gets home and everybody has to band together to defend their house. There really is a disturbing amount of Christmas movies that are about defending yourselves against vicious and evil criminals. Maybe that's the true meaning of Christmas. Defending against the purge. There's a Mexican standoff that goes on for way too long, and Elfman gets his ass beat by mistletoe immediately. So they actually give up the energy chip, they've given away the solution to the entire planet's energy problems, and the only way to save Elfman is by kissing under the mistletoe. So mistletoe can take away an elf's strength and magic, but if you make out under it, then it gives them all that power and then some. Are humans just feeding the entire North Pole by kissing under mistletoe? We should all hold a ritual where we gather thousands of people and get them to all kiss under a mistletoe at the same time, so the elves could finally have enough power to overthrow their tyrannical leader Santa. Elfman gets his mad powers and flies around with perfect special effects, stops the bad guys with a giant evil fruitcake, gets the chip, and then just leaves. So this film is terrible. It's really bad. And like not even in a funny way. And I'm afraid that's all the terrible Christmas content that I can handle for now. It's really ruining my Christmas spirit. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you so much for this year. We're growing very slowly, but all of you that are here are honestly just truly amazing. So please like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. And if you do, then I hope you have a great Christmas. And if you don't, then I hope you have a mediocre Christmas. Have a great day.